I'm Chaz Evans, and you're checking out the hottest podcast, the 3 Count Podcast.
Well, here's the thing, right? So when you're doing some episodes, you're doing like Now Entering, you're now entering 201, sometimes you just gotta run a rubber match and you gotta bring a person back for a three-peat, right? For the trilogy, because we love three-peats, right? Star Wars, The Matrix, Lord of the Rings, all sorts of other things. And you does not love having a three-peat for anything. So that's what it is today. So welcome to Returning to the Ring. And you know me, I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain called wrestling. But, like every good Sherpa, it's never about me. It's about who's into the ring. So who's into the ring? You can find this man at EWA. You can find this man at SWA. You can find this man at anything that ends in WA, to include Fight Club Pro. Or you can find him at, all around, up and down the East Coast. This man travels, and in the last couple years, he's been everywhere and anywhere. Also, to put it out there, a part of the 99th greatest tag team in 2024. He is the man, the leader of pure ignorance, as he would like to say, Chaz Evans.
No, dude, you're really good with these intros because I was about to say, wait a minute, you said it. You said it. You said it. Welcome aboard. Thank you for understanding. Oh man.
Bruh. So, as you guys know, like, we do this show, we do the weekly podcast every week, but it's been funny because, like, it's been 2 years since we've actually run this back and do it. It's fun because, like, the first time we did it was your birthday. We wanted to do the fun celebration thing, and then we did this 2 years later because we wanted to talk about what it was like now going to, like, year 3 and, like, what the expectations were and what we were thinking about doing. And now we're going into year 6. Like, starting in, like, for me in January, it's year 6. I think for you in April, it will be year 6 that we're heading into. March. Yeah. And it's crazy to think about, like, the journey and going back and thinking about everything that's, like, just happened, right? Like, we've been to a lot of places. We traveled a lot, and then
man. It's insane, right? Really looking back on it, right?
Yeah. I mean, and it was funny too because, like, when we talked about me, like, linking up with PI and then, like, kind of utilizing our bridge, like, because I ended up moving to Massachusetts, and we leveraged so much that we were able to, like, say, we've been in Massachusetts, we've been in Connecticut, we've been in Utah now, been in
Texas.
Yeah, we've been in Texas. We've, like, PI has been around, like, everywhere and touched in, like, so many different states. It's insane to think about.
It's you say that, and, like, we kind of, like, because the way wrestling is in the businesses, we just kind of on the go, where you don't really sit back and really think about it. But you naming off the different, just the different states across the country we've been in, like, and thinking in retrospect, it's like, whoa. Like, you're right. We have touched in Utah, Texas, Massachusetts, where else? Connecticut. I was say Connecticut. Like, we've been up and down all over the place, and, like, and it's crazy. I think when we last talked was right before year 3 started, right?
Yeah.
So this is right. So I think it was, like, right at the end of 2021 or right at the beginning of 2022, and that was, like, the big year, right?
We had just talked about, we were just, like, openly talking about how much we could spread the brand and how far we could push.
Right.
It's a 3 Count podcast, not really PI, just us, just, like, this podcast, see how much we could take it, and, like, to see us, and to name, like, other places that we've been to, like, and just let's just call it PI, what PI has touched, right? Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Texas, Maryland, like Delaware, like DC, like, it's
Utah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, we branched out a lot, and, like, we've recruited a couple of members, but that's not the point. The point is like,
we got associates and members, and members that are come and go.
Yeah.
And if we include those, then we got some folks up in Chi-Town,
Yep.
in the Midwest. Shout out to my boy Calvin Coco. Like, nah, so like, but yeah. It's amazing. Like, and I always tell the story when anybody asks about PI, and like I just go, this was literally a group chat, and like I'll show my age, but I don't know if people remember the group chat called Kick. All right. Yeah. This was literally started in a group chat and Kick in like 2013. And really to see what it's become. And like, yeah, man, it's really, it's insane. And like, it's really cool. Just to see like people know who PI is. People know what Duffin season is. And like, it's crazy. It's really crazy to me. Like,
It's funny because like I was working at Focus Pro Wrestling a couple weeks back, and I had the Duffin season shirt on, and like I hit the pose, and someone got the picture of me doing a high five, and it looked like John Cena. But if you would have seen like the next thing, like I was calling it out, and to have some girl pull me to the side after my match and was like, "I love Duffin season," and I was like, "That's crazy." That's crazy. But it is funny because like when you look at our journey, just ourselves, right? Like you and me, like we won't even include everybody else, but just you and me, like we have like done some things like with this podcast, we've done some things with wrestling, like it we've caused ourselves some opportunities. Also, there's retaliations, some consequences, but like we have done so much in this business that like it really blows my mind like how far we go and how far we're pushing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely, man. And it's just I think it's a credit to not only us being authentically ourselves, and whichever medium it is, whether it's wrestling or whether it's this podcast, and and also I just believe we're destined to do something. Our voices are destined to do something, and I do feel like that's why not only you're winding down as far as in the wrestling standpoint. I'm not saying I'm winding down or whether I'm picking up. I'm just saying like there are other things with our voices that we're on the cusp of doing, and like this is just what we've done now is just like a stepping stone on what for just the bigger stuff that's about to blow up. And so like yeah man, it's awesome to see, but also not surprising, right?
Right.
Not surprising.
Well, it goes back to the hard work side of things. I think that's something that's like a credit to like you and I is that when we started this podcast, which is funny because actually we're recording this in December, and I just want you guys to know like technically with this being December, like this is we're in our seventh year of
Mhm.
doing this show, like doing the three count podcast.
Mhm.
Like it's crazy to think because we started this show on a whim. We started the show. I mean, we were on a podcast called Frankensteiner presents Frankenculture or Frankenculture presents Frankensteiner, and then Chaz was like, "Oh, I want to start a podcast," and I was like, "Bet, let's do it." And then we started doing this thing, and like it's gone through its iterations and its transformations and changes, and we've seen tons of like episodes come and go, whether they were now at the ring or here. But it's a testament to us
Slew of
because like,
characters, the slew will come through. We're
yeah,
like 106 in Park for wrestling.
facts. And
Oh man, I popped myself.
what's so crazy about it too is that like you could tell we put a lot into this because I mean this thing started on a Zoom call or was it Skype?
No, this thing started on Skype, brother.
Skype.
We started this thing on Skype.
Yeah, it is.
Recording it, then re-editing it, then putting it out there.
Yeah,
We weren't even doing it. We weren't even touching anything live.
no,
Couldn't even fathom going live
right.
at that point in 12. That was December 2019.
Yeah,
Yeah, 2019. Yes. So, yeah, December 2019 when we did that little test run,
we did
and
a test run just to
yeah,
just to see how the vibes would go.
just to see, yeah, and man, it's yeah. I got a whole notebook of just all the old notes. Like it's literally, I have it right there in my desk. Of the very, because I remember we were booking at the time our little fed at the time, and so I started writing on the back of that book, and I have that book right there. But yeah, man, it's we've we've really put our mind to this, and I don't know if it's just stubbornness, and I also think probably the pandemic gave us some extra motivation because like what else are we gonna do?
Yeah,
Um, and I feel like that at that point we were 2 years in. By that point, the normalcy started getting back. And we were like, well, we're already here now, and we got a quite low following. Why are we stopping? Yeah, and yeah, it's just. I also still, the goal is to get to WrestleMania for press,
yep.
and it's still there. Then and I still will stick to that. And once we get that, I will be off of the internet. At least as far as a talking head per se. But yeah, man, it's we definitely put a lot of effort into this, and it is a testament to what our hard work.
Yeah, and it goes back to now, like, so we're heading into our next year, right? Year 7, right? It's crazy to think about. Well, year 7 for the podcast, year 6 for wrestling. And it's like, what do we go to next, right? Like, I look at myself and I'm trying to figure out, like, I've said it on this podcast, I wasn't playing around. Like, I have a couple years, the little one is getting ready to become a senior in a couple years, and I just want to spend as much time as I can with her. So whether I call it a hiatus or we just end it, I don't really know yet. I just will be fair with that. But it's almost like, where do we go next, right? I'll be fair, like, I've held a few individual titles. I've held one tag team title, which was cool, being able to do that in Virginia. Um, but it's like, where do we go next, right? So for me, I think, like, continuing to evolve the character of Red Dog is definitely going to be necessary. Like, I don't know if I whether he's like a baby face or a heel, like whether we keep him as like the thug or eventually he becomes like a mastermind, right? I don't know, like, where that goes, but I want to I don't know. I just want to be as open as possible to, like, new ideas of, like, what we can do
You know,
with dog.
it's funny. Since we're talking, and you know what you need to be.
Hmm.
You need to be the Captain America now. You need to be Cap. I'll tell you this, and when I give you my ideas, I always have here's my little backstory why. So look, I say this, especially now you're QB, right, of SWA,
Yeah.
right? Why don't you should be Captain America? You need to be leading the charge, and I really felt that in our promo. It was just like you weren't like, hey, the little white boy that hangs out with Pi. It really it really felt like no, you were your own entity. Like, hey, listen, like I know family, I know we were all fighting everything, but look, appreciate everything. Like I felt like, all right, cool, this is the guy. Like, oh, this is the leader type situation. Not saying you are the leader of PI. We all know who that is. I'm not saying any names. Um, but yeah, man, like yeah, maybe you go that route. See what that looks like, what that entails. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just me spitballing ideas. Oh, wow. You can't hear me no more? That's insane. I don't think he can hear me, guys, which is hilarious because I had this whole cool story about Captain America and his character, and now he can't hear it.
Yeah.
So now you got to go back and listen to it because
Oh,
now
I will.
because now everyone else heard it, and I'm glad that didn't happen during the live show on for the debate show. I would have gotten mad.
No, it's just okay. So, like, to be fair, like, the whole idea of, like, Captain America and leading, like, SWA, especially because, like, there's a whole bunch of the plans that are kind of put in the system of, like, what's going on. And I think with Red Dog being such, like, especially their SWA, like, being the goody two shoes that he is, like, kind of naive to an extent, to a little bit, like, he's always getting himself into situations where he has to, like, bail himself out, and then, like, I think there needs to come a part where, like, the downfall happens and he has to have Hail Hydra moment, if that makes sense.
Hell, Hydra is crazy.
I mean, we saw like Captain America show up, like he was there.
He was. He was. He definitely was. He definitely was. Like it's funny you say Hail Hydra. Like I don't have a whole group chat named Hail Hydra.
Yeah, I'm aware of this actually. I really am aware of that. That is a thing.
It's crazy that you know that night, intel specialist.
Right. And that's what and so it's like, okay, so where does he go from there? But then even like that, it's like where is Red Dog fit in with like PI? You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
but where does PI grow too? Because PI
Exactly.
keeps continuing to grow, right? We have everybody has like a different role and a different idea of what's gonna happen and how we blend all these like characters. Because it's weird, bro. Let's be fair, okay? Like there's Damien, there's Chaz, there's Prince, there's Noah, there's Chris, and then there's Red Dog. Like it's essentially Sesame Street. One of these things doesn't go but I mean, it works in a sense too, because it's just like he's like obviously Red Dog is quirky. He has like these weird little gimmick things that he does, and he just fits in. But like, I think the other part too is that like I want to start like, especially when you're growing your character and stuff like that, you're trying to evolve. You're trying to figure out like what aspects of that character you can take out and grow him. So that's where like the next evolution of Red Dog comes to. It's like, all right, what's he doing? Because you have the muscle man, you have the street fighter, you have the king, the prince, right? You have the young guy, and then you have the old head. Like, so where does this guy's gonna fit in? How's he gonna continue to grow? You know what I mean? So that's what I've been looking at. What have you been looking at as far as like what's the growth of Chaz go?
It's funny that you think that because I've also been thinking that, and um, especially now with with the beef between PI and I cut the curtain and everything. Like I've been really I've had this idea of an inner PI beef for a minute now, just because it needs to keep something fresh because the group at some point I feel like it's got to keep being realistic because we're all friends and I know how and we all know how each other works. We all know everybody is everybody in our group thinks they're the main character. Let's just keep it a bean. Everybody thinks they're the main character. All right. And that's just why it works for us because we all know we're not the main character. But all right, let our characters think that no, this is now. So of course we let and also I love the fact that we let a lot of real life stuff blend in with it. We're not afraid to go and to talk about our real stuff.
Right.
Like if you see the Twitter beef between me and Noah, we'll go back and forth about each other. Like I talked about him making a video game that he talked about in our group chat. I mean, like years ago, and he talked about like a whole indie film that me and my homeboy was trying to make that we still haven't done, which is coming out by the way. He was trying to talk trash, but that it just has it's look. All right, trying to make a film, it takes hard work when you're poor. All right, jeez, man. But but yeah, no, I've always envisioned PI to be really it was going to be something similar to what the New Day was saying, like they never would break up, and I do still will stick with that PI for at least for as of right now I don't want to see the break up because our friendship we would never there's nothing really could break our friendship up. That's just how close knit we are. We've been, I mean, we've literally grew up with each other, and that can also be a pitfall and a downfall of us. But hey, like nothing would ever break our friendship. Not wrestling, nothing. And so, I like to want to mirror that as well. But like as we always say, family fight, and that's what we're seeing right now. Is like we're seeing a family fight because they've had so much success right now, and they're living on cloud nine. But now there's this guy who's like, oh wait a second, okay, yeah, the group has had this success because he really does believe that he orchestrated all this, but the group is like, we need to come together and let's make sure we're still on the same page so we can continue to have success instead
Yeah.
of letting it all wash out in the middle of our hands because we just can't get on the same page. So
Right.
I hate to tell that I told you guys the whole movie, but I hope you still continue to watch my crap that I produce, that we put out next year. But yeah, man, like I've been big on telling our own stories. That's really been, and I know I've told you this. I've had this conversation with you a lot. And as far as even just outside of wrestling, I've been big on telling my own stories. Um, and it just so happens that now telling my own story that there are now companies wanting to pick up this story, and you'll start to see where some of this stuff blends in, and that's cool and all, but I'm big on that. The whole beef story literally started literally on a random tweet. It
Believe
started on a random tweet, and we literally were going back and forth, and then people bid on it, and then we were like, all right, let's roll with it.
let's have some
And then
fun.
let's have fun. And then stuff so happened to be planned out with other promotions that what we were doing. It worked out with the beef, and then yeah, I've been big on that. And so if people are not going to give us the ball on their platform, I'm going to make sure and use every platform that we have at our disposal and tell our own story.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that's really why PI is still being talked about, even when there's nothing going on. Because PI love we take December and half of and almost all the time January off, just because we all have families. All right,
Yep.
we all of us, yeah, all of us are married. Like every last member of PI is married. We have families, and so it's like, what has to keep people talking about PI for at least 30 days, and the beef is like it was gets people talking. Like I put out a fake apology notes app, and I don't. Everyone went in up in arms about it. I wish I was like I should have waited till December to do this. Like, but yeah, man, people are invested in this beef, and I just PI is going to grow eventually. Like I also see the standard. Like I do believe we need to get higher up in PWI. Um, hopefully this year, fingers crossed, knock on wood, throw salt over the shoulder, whatever. And but I also feel like somebody in the group, should be on that PWI list for 500, whether it's you, whether it's Mac, um, or whether it's Noah, who's doing single, starting to going to do more single stuff next year. I mean, I think that right there is the growing aspect of it for real. Is getting higher up on that list, and then also really like just seeing some of us doing some of our solo stuff, getting those accolades. Because like I do believe Mac, this 2025 was Mac year, was really
Yeah.
Mac year. I just despite the beef and everything, I have fallen in love with the way that man works. Like, oh my gosh, man, watching him flourish and seeing the Prince Machiavelli character grow, because a lot of people don't understand is right in that beginning he was ready to go, and he was this Jaden Miller Hollywood playboy joint, and it wasn't working, and he was ready to quit.
Yep.
And just to see where we started with the Prince Machiavelli gimmick to what he's got now, man, and then now having with Chris Idol behind him, it's how it what should have been. It should have started. That's how it should have started in 2020, was the two of them. But that's a whole nother podcast episode on how it should have happened. But it's there, and it's awesome, man, seeing him work. And I do he went up there with O'Shea Edwards, one of our OGs, who dropped knowledge on us at the very first fight taping that we did, like, and just he went out there with Rob, and man, I phenomenal, just phenomenal. And then just the stuff he's been doing with SWA, he's been holding that belt like a real real royalty. And I really I've really been impressed with him, man. And you just wait on that boy. That boy Noah has been in the lab, dog, and I'm waiting for that boy to shoot out next year. Like
Yeah.
he's starting to come out too, man. like for real. And I don't know about that man Damien, dog. He's doing his own thing. He's doing his own thing. He
Yeah,
still he
he's doing
still
his own thing out in Utah
he
too.
still don't tell me the plan.
That's the fun part about this podcast. No, it's like one of those things though, man. What I really like about like wrestling, especially like with this podcast and just everything, is like the evolution of like how characters grow or how the show grows. Because like I mean, this background has been different. We've gone
Yeah.
from site to site, and we just continue to look for new opportunities and new things to get us started. I mean, like even we kick around so many ideas, man. Like when you follow us like on social media, like you can see like we are trying like to do every day. We're doing news, right? And like we only do that for so long, and then like as soon as the pandemic really we came out, and then we were just like going to new jobs. Like I was like, all right, well this is not working out like we thought it
Yeah.
was. And then like um and then we had the now we had the villains lounge is starting to take off, and we're talking about other little projects that we want to start getting off the ground, and it's all starting to come together. It's crazy to think about how much like work that we go into it with, and then how much we want to evolve, and like how do we grow it, right? So like we recently just had our Spotify numbers come through when they told us that we've had this like huge increase of like popularity with certain areas, even areas that I just didn't even think that was going to be a thing, right? Like Taiwan. Like I was like, whoa, what, people listen to us out there?
Yeah.
And it's been interesting to see like the growth of this show, and that we continue to keep pushing for new audiences, and then still have to train and then work and then hone our craft and then continue to build this podcast and then continue to there's like so much work that goes into this and into this whole wrestling sphere. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I just look at myself, I'm like, bro, I don't know how we do this.
I don't know how we do either. And the funny thing is this: we keep going as as we go. It's I learned this in acting school, right? It said fake. One of the guys, one of my teachers, he goes, "Fake it till you make it." He
Yeah,
goes, and I'm like, all right. He goes, "Fake it till you make it." He goes, "Cheat from everyone." He goes, and like if it works, and he goes, and steal. If it works, take it. And I was like, all right. So I mean, and I feel like that's kind of been our like low key our business model, and
yeah,
really it's like, all right, cool. Let's see what this person's doing. All right, let's try that. Let's try something like similar to that. Like, yeah. And so if it works, it works. If it don't, all right, let's scrap it and we'll try something different.
yeah.
And that's how like think about it. Didn't we have another show that something that he canceled? I don't remember that show. That was
We
something.
had a few of those where it was like we
Yeah.
did a remember because we originally had like a returning to the ring that we did live, and like it just didn't work out, and
Oh
then
yeah, 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 yeah.
we did the one question thing that we only had we had like I mean we had like
We had
10.
a lot of different things.
Yeah, we had like
Then you have like a dad wrestling.
we wanted to do the dad wrestling thing, and it
Yeah,
like never took off, which
yeah,
it's still in the works. It's just we'll figure it out
figure it out. Right, and
sometime.
I wanted to do a State of the Independence
Yeah,
round table that never happened.
yeah. So
Yeah,
then we do
but
super pods every once in a while.
the super pods are the best we get out of all of those things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We throw a lot at the wall to kind of see what sticks.
yeah,
You know what? It's one of those things I do miss though is the one question interviews that we were doing, because we got a lot of people that were on the show that are like now like blowing up. Like Lady Frost was on the show. We had Billy
yeah.
Starks on there.
Mhm.
Those were like major gets, and then we were just asking one question, and it turned up. It was pretty cool to be a part of, and like now, and it was not to be funny, right? But it wasn't like what's your Waffle House order, right? Big shout outs to Malcolm, because I mean you're getting all your kudos for that, but it's like we were asking about like like how do you make a good first impression like on a wrestling crowd? I
Yeah,
mean, like these were like questions that like if you're breaking into the business, like you want to know like
yeah,
how do I get rid of the nerves, right?
yeah.
We could ask all sorts of things. Like it was a lot of fun to do that, and I might end up like still trying to bring that back and then just shooting that on like putting out like Instagram and TikTok or something like that, or Twitter. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll bring it back.
TikTok
But
definitely doing TikTok.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll figure it all out. Maybe we'll bring that back. But the other part though, man, is for you. This is my kind of last question for you before we wrap this up. Right? Is what's next for you?
Mm. uh, you know, I never really thought about it really. um, as far as wrestling's concerned, I I want to hold another. I've held a singles title before. Um, uh, I don't want to necessarily say I don't want to say I'm not proud of it, but I felt like I could have done more with it, and I wanted to do more with it. Um, I want to have a single title run, like just a solid run. It doesn't have to be long. I just want a solid run with the belt and like really be like put a stamp on the city. Um, I especially repping the city. I've really, and then working now in the city, I've really fallen in love with the city of Baltimore. Like I really had, like I've already loved my city from jump, but like just really now repping it proudly. I really do love my city, and I kind of got a little swelling down in the city, and I love to hold like something by myself and bring it to the city and like some of my students and showing them like, hey, like you did something, and like because the city does get a lot of bad rep, and I know we're out in the media, it kind of gets talked really bad about, and like and all the people that talk bad about it ain't in the city and don't have boots to the ground, and so there's a lot of good in this city, and like a lot of people say that about everything about their city, but like take it from somebody who's in the ground and like who sees the next generation, there is a lot of good in this city. It's just the small bad parts is just what gets put on TV.
Yeah,
And like I really do see that, and like I'm gonna always use my platform, to push that. And so I definitely want, as far as for me, I want to bring a singles title to the city of Baltimore because the Ravens won't do it, or the Orioles. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. I'm still upset. They just lost about an hour and a half ago, y'all, when this recorded to the Steelers. So now you can time up everything when this happens. When
yep.
this episode
Just
was
be like, oh,
recorded.
this game. It's funny too because like this show, like, and I'll be fair with y'all, right? This show I took a hiatus like back in September because like it was just mentally I was just taxed out. Like I've been running with this, so I've been running with Now Ancient Ring for like 4 years solid.
Mhm.
Like, and what you guys don't know is that we will actually go on hiatus, and maybe some of you will know, we'll actually go on hiatus from December to January, except me. Like I just keep booking
By
interviews
choice.
by choice,
I
by
want to put it
choice.
out there as by choice.
Yeah, and
I
so I
always implore him to say, "Hey, go put some in the can so you don't have to." He
yeah,
does. He listens sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't. So I just want to make sure it is really put out there that he does this to himself.
it's true. And so yeah, so I bust my ass in it, and I take pride in like in the show, and so I keep pushing to get more episodes, keep pushing to do things. So I needed to take kind of a little bit of a break. But what was funny is, and you brought this up too on the Spotify Wrapped. We had been talking about this program, like Now Ancient Ring, has really kind of become the staple of the Three Count Podcast, and nothing else showed more than when I saw one of the previous episodes had showed our percentage. It had like 583% listen, and I was like, that is a lot of increase from what our normal listenership is. So I was very happy to see that. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I definitely got to continue to bring this back and go to people and
Yeah.
talk to them, and try to do whatever I can with this program. And it's funny because I have a big network of wrestling, which is weird because like I've always talked about this thing, and I've always talked about how like I have an ability to be dropped in just about anywhere, and I will develop a network like super quick. And pro wrestling is no exception. Like we literally, at the drop of a dime, can be in contact with anybody and everyone.
Yeah,
Like it's in a moment's notice, whether former WWE superstars or current AEW / ROH stars, right? Like we in
New
TNA,
Japan.
New Japan, definitely New Japan, which is crazy. New Japan strong too. Like it's just we just have this weird ability that we can get in touch with anybody. And it happens so quick because I
Yeah,
mean, in outside, and I mean, even the pandemic kind of helped, but like it's been insane to me to think about like how fast we've been able to grow this out and talk to people. And where I'm going with it is that like it continues to grow, it continues to evolve, the show continues to push forward, and so many people who have seen this podcast has said, "Damn, I want to be on this show."
yeah,
Like, and I'm like, "Damn, that's
yeah,
it's crazy." So for me to bring back the show was a no brainer, and I needed it because I've also kind of like I kind of miss like just talking to people like on the podcast. So I was
yeah.
like, "All right, let me go
I
reach
always
out."
told you this show was the meat and potatoes. Like this was the main course of the 3 Count podcast. My show was the appetizer. Like that'll get somebody to the end. But like maybe they'll subscribe, but they'll see this and they'll go, oh, there's a deep catalog of all these different wrestlers, and you're like, oh snap. And then the Villains Lounge and the Watch Lounge are your dessert. So like the 3 Count podcast is literally is a full course meal, and like that and I'm glad the rap, the Spotify rap really showed that, because like we just I think it was only a couple days ago is
Yeah,
when I said it, and then the rap came out Friday, like that Friday or Thursday or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see that. But yeah, man, like I've always told you, like I love catching these interviews, especially if it's somebody who I've been like, oh wait, you got who? And then I'm like, wait a minute. So it's fun to see it back, and even with the post, like I was excited to make a post that like, hey, interviews are back, like, and we back. Like I had to put Chance the Rapper, like just like, and we back. So but yeah, and yeah, man, just everybody needs a break. That's one of the things. Like everybody needs a break. So like don't even fret on that. Like that's why I was always like, even when I was like, is it an interview? Nah, alrighty then. All cool with me. I wasn't fretting, But like, yeah, nah. I'm excited for this season of interviews, and happy to be a part of it, because like I was getting a little jealous that I ain't been brought back on.
Yeah, no doubt. And then and there's gonna be more people. I just wish that there was a way that we could crack into like to the bigger categories. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
TNA and
Mhm.
well AW, WWE. Like those be nice to be able to crack into those guys. And just pick the brains of those guys. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I love talking to anybody that's on the independent scene. I don't care. There's one person in particular that I haven't hit yet that I definitely need to talk to and bring them on the show. And currently at this point in time, I think they're still the GCW champion. Yeah, I would love to bring Miss Effie.
Oh,
Love to
it's
bring Effie on the show.
iffy.
Yeah, get Effie on here and talk to him because it's especially because he just had like this. He had this match at Focus Pro Wrestling with Brian Bayside, and it was hilarious. I loved it, and it just showed a different side of what Effie can do. And
Mhm.
then obviously he had his match recently with Priscilla Kelly and Shotzi Blackheart, and like you know we know Killer Cross is coming around
Yeah.
too. We know that's gonna
Yeah.
happen too. So it's been interesting to see him work all these different matches, and then to see the match that he had with Brian Bays that was hilarious. And I was like, bro, I'm here for all of this. So it just shows that there's layers that you can pull from, and that's what I kind of hope to bring with Red Dog going into 2026 and 2027. It's just like how much more different can I make him than everybody else?
Yeah. No. You're on your way. You're on your way. I see that. I love seeing the evolution of what you've done, and just even like the random ideas you spitball in the group chat. Like some of them stick, some of them are completely ridiculous, and
Yo,
you are told that they are ridiculous, but you tend to turn the ridiculous things into cinema. So you just I don't know if it's a gift or a curse, but yeah.
it's something. It's something. No. So normally I would say that we have like games for like so for like now entering we have the 10 count questions. We have pin submit DQ for now entering to one, but we don't really have anything for returning to the ring. So you know I we'll have to figure that out because I think this is only like the second episode we've done for this show.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So what we can do is let our listeners and viewers know where they can find you.
I am at Chaz underscore the Don everything. That's literally everything. Like everything. You can follow PI. I think it's what 410 underscore P pure ignorance. On Instagram. Our YouTube channel, which hasn't been updated, and I think at this point now is a year. It's also my fault. Is pure ignorance. You'll see. I think it's just me, Mac, and Noah on as far as the profile picture for that. We got a for your workshop. You hear about that on every week if you subscribe. But if you're checking out this, you are probably subscribed. Yeah. If you got a kid, come follow. Want to come into my job, learn how to karate, Coppermine, Baltimore. Yeah, cheap plug for my job.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you can find the 3 Count Podcast on all your favorite social media platforms, which we'll talk about in like the closing parts. But more specifically, if you guys follow down here at the bottom, you guys can see that we have 3 Count Pod as well as 3 Count underscore pod, which is only on X because there's a 3 Count Pod already taken, and we can't seem to get them to release that. So it is what it is. Even though they shot us out on the Royal Rumble last year. I don't care that they were promoting their podcast. We also have that podcast too. Yeah, so he told you where you can find him. Told you about the PI. We have a for-your wear shop. Everything going on. So what does that mean? Like every great part of a wrestling match, we gotta take this home because this is the 3 Count Podcast presents Returning to the Ring. I'm your host Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain called wrestling. And it's never about me. It's about who's in the ring. So who's in the ring? You see him right there, the Don Chaz Evans. You guys what to do. Tune into the next episode and be there, or you're legitimately follow us on all of our social media platforms. You're subscribed to our YouTube channel. You're checking us out on Spotify. You're even listening to us on that dumb app with the stupid jingle that goes iHeartRadio. You're also keeping us on Amazon Music because that's the thing. You're checking out all of our merch on foryourwear.com, or you're checking out all of our old merch on prowrestlingtees.com. You're telling your mom about us, your dad about us, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your best friends, your cousins, your nephews, your nieces, your grandmas, your grandpas, your best friends, and your enemies because we love haters too. You're doing all that stuff, but really, you're just kind of like waiting for this episode to end. You're waiting for that outro, and then you're choosing another episode to listen to.
Yeah.
Kawaii. What's up? It is your friendly neighborhood Red Dog, and thank you for checking out this episode of the 3 Count Podcast. Whether that was Chaz friends, Red Dog friends, Damien friends, the film styles, now into the ring, now entering 201, or now returning to the ring, all those good episodes. You should really be liking, commenting, and even sharing this with your friends, family, whoever it may be. But what you all should be doing is checking us out on all of our social media platforms at 3 Count Pod. Whether that's on IG, Twitch, you can check us out on Threads, whatever it may be. And if you go check us out on X, it is 3count_pod. Check us out on YouTube, as well as Facebook, on Rumble, on Apple Music, on Spotify. All those fun things. Tell your mom about us, your dad about us, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, and your best friends and your enemies because we love haters too. Do all that stuff. And then, last but not least, buy our merch on foryourwear.com or prowrestlingtees.com. Kawaii.